Okay, guys, please let me know if it's working or not now. That's the last test I'm going to do. So I'm bringing outside the airplane and let's see how it goes now. Please, if you can see this broadcast, let me know. We are on the ground in New York, JFK International Airport. Okay, so any message in our chat will be nice. Let me see. If I have any reply. Again, I'm going to my YouTube channel. Yes, it shows I'm live now. Yeah, it should be working. Okay, guys, I'm going to start over again. Okay, so we are going inside the airplane. So just for you to understand, we did the electrical power up, we did the preliminary pre-flight procedure, and we did the pre-flight procedure for the captain and the first officer so far. Okay, that's what we have now. We got the information from the 80s for Kennedy. So here we go. I have a message from Iago Souza saying that it's working. Okay, thank you, Iago. So we are going to take it from here. So we are going to call the ATC. Right now we have connected here in the VATSIM network. So we have the New York approach. So we have two New York approaches. This is serving JFK 128.125. I just want to check. Yes, this is 128.125, and the Kennedy 80s. It's information. I'm going to read for you. Kennedy information Bravo. We have 140 at 8. Visibility more than 10 stated mile. Broken at 4,800. Overcast 6,500. Temperature is 02. Dew point -6 and altimeter 3023. Okay, that's what we have now. So we are going to set 2023. That's perfect. Another thing we are going to do right now is to change to the approach frequency that is going to provide us all the information we need. He will be working as delivery and ground tower and our departure controller. Okay, so this will be American Airlines 9714 Heavy. New York approach, good afternoon, American 9714 Heavy. Let me see. Hello, hello, yeah, it seems that it's working. New York approach, American 9714 Heavy. I'm wondering why approach cannot hear me. Yeah, push to talk key. New York approach, American 9714 heavy. Okay, approach cannot hear us. I'm going to disconnect. I'm going to close the VATSIM application and I'm going to start again the vPilot. Let's see if it works now. So we are going to connect as American 9714. So the flight plan, we have it. New York approach, American 9714 heavy. Good afternoon. ABC, 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 ABC. New York approach, American 9714 heavy. 19-1, thank you, bye-bye. Okay, so he said that we have Kennedy Tower 19.1, let's see. Now it seems he's listened to me, so we are going to set here, it's not working. So we have to set 19.1. Okay, that's not working as well. I'm going to change the camera. I hate when those kind of things happen. Yeah, now it works. So 19.1. Kennedy Tower, good afternoon. Amer. Kennedy Tower, good afternoon. American 9714 heavy. Okay, I'm having communication issues with the tower, but we have also here today Fred Moraes and Luciano saying that now it's working. I hope that my frequency works as well. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to transit this to the full screen, so you will be seeing this in a larger version. Maybe it's easy. Kennedy Tower, American 9714 Heavy. Ready for clearance, American 9714. Ready for clearance, American 9714. Can you say this squawk again, please? American 9714 is cleared to Atlanta, Jacksonville Airport via Kennedy 5 departure, radar vectors Robbinsville, fly heading 180, climb to 5000, expect 38010 minutes after departure, departure 128.12 and squawk 1662. We have Bravo calling for taxi, American 9714. Okay, so it seems it's working now. You cannot hear the audio from the AGC. So how can I change this? Just give me a minute, guys. Let me see what I can do here. Desktop audio should be working. Okay. Guys, can you hear like the sound from the Prepare 3D? I know it's going on and off, but when I jump into the sim, it should be working for you. Let me see how can I change this again. Why the desktop audio is not working? It should be working. So let me do something. These settings audio. Should go on speakers. Let's see if it works now. And Kennedy Tower, American 9714, just another radio check, please. Okay, guys, so what's going on is that my vPilot is not transmitting or catching anything when I'm outside it.
470, information Bravo, clearance to Atlanta South.
Yes, yes. So every time I go off the sim, the audio should go off as well, but you should be able to listen to the ATC all times.
185, climb base bid, expect flight level 380, 10 minutes after, departure 128.12, squawk 1617.
Okay, now it's working. Okay, let's see how it goes.
Squawk 1017, departure on 128.12, 470.
Delta 470, read back correct, push to start your discretion.
Guys, I'm going to do
Bravo,
just
return,
another
taxi.
check here.
Taxi, Delta 470.
I'm going to change everything just to the PC and extending my monitors again.
Just 1401, you can call departure now 128.12, take care.
128.12.
Okay, and let me see if I can also take these two things. Okay, 5x5 working. Now let's see if it works now. Kennedy Tower, American. You see guys, when I'm pressing the button on the X-plane, it's not transmitting. Okay, so I need to go. I need to know how to do this. Because right now I'm on the vPilot, so the audio works. When I go back to my sim, it doesn't work. So how can I check those things? Go into settings here, custom rules, performance, update, keep window visible. Maybe that is going to work. No. Then if I press yes. Oh guys, this is an issue with the vPilot. How can I change this? So this is the audio. Yeah, it's working. Push to talk. Guys, that's a shame. I don't know if you can understand what is going on. When I'm inside the simulator, the audio for the vPilot for VATSIM, it doesn't work. And of course I need to be inside the sim when I'm talking to the ATC. So if you guys have any clue how to fix this, it will be very appreciated. Let me see what else I have here.
Okay, KJFK, 1021 information, Bravo, clearance to Boston, please.
Flight 1021 Heavy, thanks for Bravo. Clearance to Boston Logan International Airport via the Kennedy 5 departure. Radar vectors merit then as files. Maintain, if you climb via SID, expect flight level 210, 17 minutes after. Departure 128.12, squawk 1527.
Alright, FedEx 1021, code Boston's file, JFK 5, radar vectors to Merritt and his files. Climb via SID to 210, and departure frequency 2812, squawk is 1527.
Dice 1021 Heavy, read back correct. Speed advisor, your departure heading is 110, and call for taxi.
Alright, 110 departure heading, and we'll call for taxi, FedEx 10, thanks.
Kennedy Tower, Jet 386 with you with information. Bravo, request out for clearance down to Kingston.
Jet 386, Kennedy Tower, good day. Clearance to Kingston Airport via Kennedy 5 departure.
Let's see.
Vectors wavy then as filed. Flight heading 170 departure. Climb via SID, expect flight level 340, 17 minutes after. Departure 128.12, squawk 1623.
I don't have any information here how to fix this. Updates, it's keep window visible, I already did it. Notifications.
Alright, we'll clear the Kingston as file, maintain 5,000 was it? Kennedy 6 departure via wavy then as filed. Heading 170 on departure. Climb via SID. Spec 340, 10 minutes after. Squawk was 1623, and departure was 120.
Guys, I'm trying everything here I can.
It wasn't 128, 128.
But I cannot transmit when I'm inside the simulator.
You betcha. JetBlue 386, yeah, that's correct frequency, 128.12 for departure. And your departure is the Kennedy 5, not Kennedy 6.
Okay, what else? I can set a setting here.
JetBlue 386, rebar correct, push to start your discretion, call for taxi information, Bravo is current.
American 192, RNS 13 low.
I'm sorry guys, I'm sorry, I don't really know what to do. Maybe what I'm going to do, I'm going to disconnect and perform this flight outside the VATSIM network. So maybe that's the easiest way to keep going. Or maybe I can go like that's a shame.
I got the 470 for taxi.
Hey, you cut yourself off there. Who's calling?
I got the 470 ready for taxi.
So 470, runway 13 right, taxi via right, Alpha, November Papa.
Right, Alpha, November Papa, that's the 470.
The 470 is confirmed squawking 1617.
Roger 1617.
What else I can try to do? On the big pilot. Advanced. Okay, I'll have to click here every time I try to say something. Let's see how it works. Okay, so for now I'm going to set the departure they told us, so it will be runway. Just want to make sure I have the correct runway here. 13 right, so it will be runway 13 right on the JFK 5 departure. I'm going to execute and check on the legs page. We have 420 vectors and he told us heading 180, so I'm going to set heading 180 here. Altitude is 5,000 initial altitude clearance, and I'm also going to set the squawk is 1662. Okay, that is done. Okay, we are going to start the APU and then we should be ready to go. So I'm going to ask to close all doors. Most probably we are almost ready to go. Oh, we didn't set the performance. Yes, I missed that. So we'll have zero fuel weight on 127.8. Takeoff weight or actual weight of 231.5 tons. We should be taking off something around the 231 tons. So we can go with takeoff 2. I will run some performance here very fast. So now my iPad is not coming. Okay, today nothing is working, guys. Anyway, okay, now I have my iPad, so I'm going to set here I will let you know what I'm doing. I'm selecting Kennedy, runway 13, just to make sure, 13 right. Okay, so we are going to take intersection Papa Echo most probably. Let's see which intersection we are going to take. I'm selecting here KJFK 13 right. We can take Papa Charlie. We can take intersection Papa Charlie. Condition is dry. Wind was 140 at 8. Temperature was 2 and QNH 3023. Flap optimal air conditioning on, anti-ice off, alternate CG is the forward limit, and our weight is 231 tons. So we are going to thrust limit. I'm just finishing the calculation. Yes, it's takeoff 2, select temperature 58, have 88.7 of N1, flaps 5, CG is 29, and our speed is 154, 155, and 158. So we also come here, we set 158 on the V2, 158, we are VNAV, it will be a heading. Okay, so we have everything set here. APU is running, so we take the external power off. We ask the engineer also to remove the external power, and then we prepare the airplane for the start. So we turn the right hydraulic demand pump to auto. We wait for the fault lights to go off. Then we turn the electrical C1, C2, and then the demands to auto, left electrical, and C1 and C2 air to auto. Seatbelt goes to on. We are going to turn on the fuel pumps. We are going to turn on the packs and the beacon light. Okay, we have a recall now, just engine shutdown and TCAS off, that's fine. So I'm going to do I missed the pre-flight checklist, but we have oxygen test at 100%, flight instruments, the heading is 124, altimeter 3023, pre-flight checklist completed, and now the V4 starts. Flight deck door closed and locked, MCP V2158, heading 180, altitude 5000. Takeoff speeds V1 154, VR 155, V2 158, CDO pre-flight completed. Trim, it's going to be 5 units. I'm going to set 5 units. 0 and 0 taxi and takeoff briefing is completed. So before start checklist is completed. So we were told to call just to taxi. So we are going to request now the doors to be armed by the cabin crew, and we are going to remove the shocks. So we start our pushback.
Kennedy Tower is now going offline. Why don't you come 122.8 here?
Our pushback is not working. I'm going to try to use the one on the PMDG. So we go to pushback. Set the parking brake again. Vehicles. We can request So how we do this? It's here in pushback, straight out, standard left, turn nose to the right, yes. 100 meters is too much. I will set 85 meters here. Nothing is changing. Okay. Let's start. Let's see how it goes.
We've been cleared for pushback and start tail straight out. Roger that, ready.
Okay, Caio is also here watching for this mess that we are doing today with the 777. So I'm sorry guys, the way it's going today. I don't know why this bunch of things is not working. So it should start it. Yes, it's starting right now, the pushback at least. Okay, while we push, we can also start. So engine start right to start, and the fuel control switch right goes to run. Okay, I'm just going outside to check. Yeah, the scenario for the Microsoft Flight Simulator is not that good. Okay, we set the parking brake. That's it. It's not the best, but it's what we can do today. Okay, we had the first engine start. And then we go to the second one, start left, left to start, and fuel control switch to run. We just monitor the departure. I will just tell the tower we are ready to go, just to see if the tower is still here. Kennedy Tower, American 9714 Heavy, ready to taxi. Yeah, the tower is gone. So what I'm going to do, guys, so I don't have to worry about this, I'm going to disconnect from the VATSIM because it's not working my comms anyway. So we have more time to talk to you. Fred, I'm talking in English today because I want to do some broadcast in English so few more people can follow me. And why the airplane is going back with the parking brake set, I have no idea. Okay. Anyway, the starts were complete. So captain asked for flaps 5. First officer selects flaps 5. And then it starts the procedure. So again, no idea why the airplane is going back. Let's go a little forward. And we are going to stop it right here and set the parking brake. So the airplane should not move. Yeah, don't really know what's going on. Why we still go? Okay, let's start again. So we turn the APU off. We check that engine anti-ice, they are in the auto position for today. We do a recall. We just have TCAS off, flight controls check, right, left, up and down, and the rudder as well, all checked. And we do now before taxi checklist: anti-ice auto, recall checked, flight controls checked, and ground equipment clear before taxi checklist is completed. Yeah, Iago, thanks. I tried shift B now and it seems it worked. So maybe it was still doing some kind of pushback. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to pop up this thing. You are going to see why. Because I'm going to use the camera for taxi. Then it goes off. Okay, that's the pop-up for the camera. Okay, we are ready to taxi. Brakes release, and we take a right here. Okay, here we go to the right, and we are going to take off from runway 13 right, intersection Papa Charlie. Guys, the only good thing about today is that I can see the shot, what you're talking to me live. So yes, we can keep talking while I'm flying. So if you have any doubt, please let me know. So let's see. I will take taxi shot here. Cabin is ready. So I just want to make sure I'm leaving the correct one. Most probably we're going to take November Charlie. Yes, this is November Charlie. So we take second left on Bravo. Okay, here we go. Second left on Bravo. Okay, so for this turn to the left, we wait the nose wheel to go beyond the marks, and then we start the turn because we want the main wheel on the taxiway lines. So the nose will be to the right of the line as we turn, and then when we finish the turn, it will be on the center with the main wheels on the center one as well. Something like this. Okay, now we are in the center, everything in the center. So we'll keep going on Bravo now until we take a right on November. November and Papa. The taxiways in the Kennedy Airport, they are very narrow. It's a challenge taxi for the Rio 777-300ER. A few companies around the world, they don't allow the first officers to taxi here. My company is not an issue, so yeah, we do as first officer taxi in Kennedy Airport. We just need to take some extra precautions because of the taxiway size. So we are going to take the second one. Actually, this first to the right is Quebec, and it takes us to November as well. So we are going to take November, which is like 45 degrees, the one we are right now. Yes, that's the correct one, that is November. And then November we continue right onto Papa. Yes, Iago. Actually, what I recommend you to do to find the chart is just search for the airport ICAO and space charts. So for example, for Kennedy, you can type KJFK space charts, and most probably the first or the second link will be some Jeppesen charts. Okay, actually in US you can take for free all the charts from the government. So it's for free in the United States. You can take on the internet, but you do the same way. Just write. I will write here for you, like KJFK charts on Google, and you will have it. Okay. That's the best way to do it. So guys, we have performance for Papa Charlie today. So we'll be crossing Papa Alpha now, and then the next one to the left will be Papa Charlie. While it taxis here, I will try to... Oops, sorry, that was the wrong one. I will try to open Google here. Oops. Iago, please let me know if you found the charts. Yeah, that's useful way to do it. Most probably you will not have the most updated charts unless you have the US airport charts by the government, which are available on the internet. Okay, but usually, for example, let's say that you want a chart from Frankfurt in Germany. You write Echo Delta Delta Foxtrot charts. Most probably you'll find a set of Jeppesen charts. They will not be the latest one, but it will be enough for you to see, and especially if you want to simulate the procedures, they will be good enough, because most of the time the changes are incorrect, small details that they correct and they issue a new chart or field restrictions, and it's not going to impact on your simulator. Okay, so it seems that yes, this is Papa 8 just to the right, or maybe Papa Bravo to the right, and we take the next to the left, Papa Charlie. Okay, so while we do this, okay, because we already have the cabin ready, we are going to set the weather radar on this side, the terrain on the captain's side, and we are going to ask for the before takeoff checklist. and before takeoff checklist is completed, as you can see. Okay, so before takeoff checklist completed, and we are going to make this last turn here to the left. Helping us again. Okay, that is good enough. So now we are entering the runway. We should be turning the lights on now, so I'm going to stop right here so we can do it properly. So we can turn all the lights. We have been clear for takeoff, so all the lights are on, and we should be turning transponder to TARA as well. Okay, so yes, now we are ready to go. Okay, I'm going to align this airplane with the runway now. And I will pop up the PFD for you to see the takeoff. Okay, so Iago found some shards. We are going to perform the Kennedy 5 departure, which is pretty much radar vectors. So we climb to 500 feet and then we turn the heading that was issued by the ATC. In this case today was the heading 180. Okay, all set. So we set thrust on the triple to around 55%, and then we press toga. Then we have thrust ref, and here we go. Thrust is set, 80 knots checked. T1, rotate. We rotate. We keep climbing. We keep climbing to the flight director. We're gonna have positive rate, gear up, and we follow the flight directors. So continue up. We have thrust rep, VNAV speed, and we engage the autopilot. So right now I'm going to turn heading cell because we will be clear. We were clear on the heading 180 after takeoff, and then radar vectors to Robbinsville. So we go on the heading 180, 1000, the airplane starts to accelerate. We can retract the flaps to 1, and when it's above the position 1, we can retract the flaps to up. When the pilot monitoring select flaps up, it confirms here that the engine start switches are, the engine anti-ice switches, they are in auto position, and he opens the checklist. So when the flaps are up right now, so the checklist is complete automatically. So pilot flying request after takeoff checklist, and the pilot monitoring just read after takeoff checklist complete, and that's it, done. Okay, so our altitude was actually 380, so I'm going to select 380. We are not online anymore, we don't have any ATC restriction, so we set the 380. Okay, that's it, and we are going to fly direct to Robbinsville. So direct to Robbinsville, we execute and we arm the LNAV. So we can do this turn again just to make sure it will be a smooth turn to the right, and we set our heading bug. Okay guys, so that's what we have right now. Airplane with 250 knots, climbing to flight level 380 and turning right towards Robbinsville. Okay, that's very simple. Take this down here. The next step will be 10,000 feet. 10,000 feet, we just turn it off and we can release the passengers if there is no turbulence forecasted, which is the case. So we'll be approaching 10,000 now. So the seat belt is going to go to auto and we can turn the exterior lights off, including the logo. We just keep the beacon. The beacon will be on because the engines are running. The navigation lights, they are always on, and the strobo lights, they are on from the moment you enter the runway until the moment you leave the runway after landing. Okay, so that's the way they stay. Okay, so 10,000 feet and we accelerate to 320 knots. Most probably pilot flying will be in VNAV page at this time. Okay, so we keep the heading bug matching the heading selection, like 255 right now. Okay, we'll need some lights very soon, so I'm going to turn the storm light on, which is going to turn all the lights on. Okay, here we go. Let's see from outside for a moment. Everything is, this is the outside view, top down, tower view. This is the tail camera. That is a good one. Just going to switch a few cameras right now. So this is our Boeing 777-300ER by PMDG for Prepare 3D version 5. Okay. Beautiful machine, and the PMDG 777, it's really nice. It works pretty much as the real aircraft. Apart from the ground maneuvering and the landing, because it's still reducing the thrust to idle very fast. So that's one issue, but they are already working on it. Okay, so that's the 777 by PMDG. I like this camera, so we go inside again. And we are still tracking to Robbinsville. So we don't have any terrain for this route. Now weather radar on both sides. And usually the pilot flying keeps on the navigation display one range that matches at least his next waypoint, limited to 80 miles. So if we don't have the next waypoint, usually we leave like this, so maximum 80 miles total, so we can see some weather around if is the case. Okay, and usually then the pilot monitoring will keep every time one above. So in case of weather deviation or any direct routing, the pilot flying knows what is going on and also can see what we are going to have next. So let's say that I want to deviate from a weather that is right over Coffees, and we are going to have wind, a headwind, so it doesn't matter if we turn right or left. But if I look to the pilot monitoring side, I'm going to discover that going to the left side will be better, because then we go towards our track. because if we keep going right, we are going away from our desired track. So that's why usually pilot flying keeps maximum of 80 miles, and if possible the next waypoint at least. And the pilot monitoring will have always one range above on the navigation display. At 18,000 we crossed the same transition altitude in the United States, so we set the altimeters to standard. Okay, let me see if everything is working. Yes, it seems that everything is working, and this was supposed to be on this page. Okay, now it's working, and I'm back to prepare 3D. Okay, so here we go, climbing again 380 towards Atlanta. So I'm going to check the weather in Atlanta. I will write here KATL meter. So right now we have Atlanta 080 at 10. Visibility, it's 1.25 miles. So 1.25 miles, if 1 mile is 1,600 meters, so we have something like 2,000 meters of visibility, and it's overcast at 300 feet, temperature 10 degrees, altimeter 2999. So we need to do an ILS approach today in Atlanta, and runways 8, 9 or 10, one of them. Okay, so we keep selecting the heading bug accordingly to our current heading, and we keep climbing flight level 380. Okay, what else we can do on this climb here? So on the FMC, on the climb page, we have one information here. I'm sorry, I just took this out. We have maximum angle 229. What is this? This is the speed for the maximum angle of climb. So let's say we want to clear an obstacle for some reason, and we want to climb with the maximum angle. This is not the maximum rate. The 777 does not provide maximum rate on the FMC. So if you want the maximum angle, yes, you can open the speed window and bring this back to that speed, which is 229 right now. Okay, I'm doing this right now. So this will be the maximum angle. So the airplane will reach the flight level 380 in the shortest distance. That's what we are doing right now. Okay, so we are bringing the airplane down to 229 knots. But note, on the triple, we also need to maintain a speed of at least 15 knots above the amber band when we are below flight level 200, or the margin that we want to the amber band above it. So right now I'm going to set to 250 knots. So I have some margin. to my low speed informations. Okay, so let's say we just did it, we don't want it anymore, we close the speed window and it's accelerate again to the economic speed, which is on the climb 320 knots or Mach decimal 846. Okay, and we are going to see, I'm going just to open here, if we want maximum rate of climb on the 777, we need to calculate. So the maximum rate of climb will be the flap up maneuver speed plus 60 knots. Okay, so I will write here for you, up plus 60. So flap up speed is the VREF for flaps 30 plus 80. So the actual is VREF for the flaps 30, so right here VREF for the flaps 30 plus 140 knots, because the VREF flaps 30 we have at any time. So we come here and we go to the approach and we have the current flap 30 VREF speed is 142 plus 140 is 282. So if we want the maximum rate of climb, we should open this window and change this to 282. Always VREF 30 plus 140 knots, and we don't have this information on the VNAV page. Okay, for the VNAV is just the maximum angle. And note that we just burned some fuel, we are lighter now, and then the maximum angle speed reduced to 228 from 229 to 228. Same thing is going to happen here. As we burn fuel, the VREF flaps 30 is going to decrease to 141, the next one, so it will be 281 when this happen. Okay, so that's how we set our speeds on during climb. Okay, so we have the economic speed 320.85 right now, or we can go to the maximum angle, which is right here 228, or we can go to the maximum rate, which is flaps 30 plus 140 knots, or we can go to turbulence speed, which is 270 knots until flight level 250, then 280 knots until we reach Mach decimal 82. So right now should 280 knots until we reach decimal 82. Actually, I already reached 82. So yeah, we set Mach 82 if we were in turbulence right now. Okay, if we had severe turbulence, we were going to set the speed of Mach decimal 82 to keep us climbing. And then during cruise, the same. We can always maintain decimal 82 as the turbulence speed. So we have speed and VNAV patch. We reach flight level 380. We check both altimeters and the standby altimeter. They are all correct. They match. We are RVSM. We don't have any turbulence, so I'm going to close the speed window. It's going up to the economic speed, which I'm going to open right now. So for this cruise at flight level 380, economic speed is decimal 85. This economic speed is based on this cost index. So we have right now 145. I'm going to increase this one for you as we talk about the FMC. So we have a cost index of 145. higher cost index give you higher speeds, but you burn more fuel. Lower cost index give you lower speed, but you burn less fuel. So let's say we change the cost index to 30, even though we are still in VNAV, and the VNAV here will be still in economic 1, you are going to see that the speed is going to change. So we set cost index to 30, and the speed dropped to 842 instead of 85. Okay, so this happens in the aircraft as well. If we set cost index 500, the speed goes up to 863, and note that we never change the mode from economic speed. Okay, so I'm going to bring it back in performance to 145, which was for this flight, and we have economic speed of Mach decimal 81 right now. Okay, what other speeds can we maintain during cruise? We can maintain long range cruise. If we press here, it brings us to long range cruise, which right now would be Mach decimal 84, and then it tells us with this modification we are going to reach Atlanta at 0027 Zulu with 11.6 tons of fuel. So if we erase, we are still reaching at the same time with 11.7. So we are saving some fuel at this economic speed. We can always set any speed that we want. For example, Mach decimal 815, we set here, we execute, and the airplane brings the speed down to what we set. This may be by ATC. If ATC tells you Mach decimal 82 or less, you can set 815, for example. That's not the case. We go to economic speed and we execute. It brings us back to economic speed. Okay, and how about engine out? If we have an engine failure right now, we have some information here on the FMC. We can open the engine out prompt. It goes to show us some information. That's our altitude capability, the first one. So flight level 283 is the altitude that the airplane can maintain right now, single engine, with a speed of 241 knots. Okay, so it's going to take, during the drift down, 186 miles, and this 186 miles is going to be at time 2339 for us to reach this flight level, because if we have an engine failure, the remaining engine will go to maximum continuous thrust, so it will take 182 miles descending slowly at 241 knots to reach this cruise altitude of 283. If we select anything below, like 270 for example, it is going to give us the information. So the engine out speed, because it's based on weight, is still the same, 241, and it's going to take 200, or more or less 200 nautical miles to reach flight level 270. And then with this modification, if we continue single engine to Atlanta, we're going to reach Atlanta at 0044 Zulu with 11 tons of fuel. Okay, we can select what kind of step we want. If we want it showing the RVSM levels or by 1,000 and 1,000 feet, we can select 1,000 as well. Or if we don't want any kind of step, we can set 0. It doesn't show any step then, or R, it brings back to RVSM. So then with this information, we have the optimal flight level, should be flight level 267. The maximum is 284, and the recommended is 270. Okay. Anytime we also press in the engine out page, we set company speed, it's going to leave this engine out speed based on weight and it's going to set the predefined company speed. So I'm going to show you right now this information. Okay, so we press here company speed. The predefined company speed for this airplane or for this configuration today, it's by each company is 300 knots. So with 300 knots, I'm just going to delete this one. I'm going to erase everything, sorry. I go to engine out. Okay, so we have maximum 284. If I go to company speed, it is 300 knots. And in the real airplane, this is going to be a lower cruise altitude because we want to maintain 300 knots. We cannot maintain 300 knots at flight level 284. But anyway, we have the new information for the flight level, the time of arrival and the field of arrival, and as well optimal, maximum, and recommended flight levels. Okay, so we just erase this. Another option is that in the engine out, we can also go engine out and long range cruise. Okay, this is also available. Okay, that will be at flight level 284, Mach decimal 684. If we go further down, let's say 250, it should reduce this one. Let's say if the PMDG makes this correct. Yeah, 649 makes sense. Okay, so these are the options for engine out during cruise. What else? So we have here the cruise page. Not much. It's saying that let me set 1000 here. The same thing for VSM. It's showing us that we should step to flight level 390 at none, so we should not step climb to that flight level. And when I set our VSM, it should be 2 by 2. So the step 2, yeah, now is correct. To flight level 400, it says at none. So we do not climb flight level 400 for fuel savings. Recommended is 380. One thing I didn't do before the departure, what we can do right now, is go into the legs, route data, and request the winds. Okay. I'm also going to set an arrival to Atlanta. Okay, so I'm going to open the Atlanta charts right now. That's the wind data uplink ready. So we go to route data, we load the winds. When the winds are loaded, we execute. So we have now better predictions of our fuel and time. And also on the descent forecast, we can request descent forecast. So we are going to receive some winds for the descent. While the winds are coming, I'm taking the Atlanta charts, and we are going most probably to find the Aussie 1 RNAV. Okay, now we have the descent forecast, so we load the winds for the descent. Here we have, okay, and we are going to prepare for our descent. So we are going to fly Aussie 1 arrival and ILS runway. Let me check here. I think the furthest north is 8 left. Yes, the furthest north is 8 left. So departure, arrival, Atlanta, ILS 8 left with transition Lari, and Aussie 1 arrival, transition Flask that we have in our route. So from Flask, I'm going to check here. Aussie 1 arrival from Flask we go to yield, show, Tudun, Wilson, Mahoney, Tej, G-Bait, Winning, and Aussie, and we'll be landing towards the east. So we expect to cross at Aussie at 14,000 feet. So I'm going to set here Aussie 14,000 feet. From Aussie we go to Harry, Killer, Gas is on the next page, Chill Out, Kung Fu, Trape, Sniff, and then it's radar vectors to the ILS, runway 08 left. We cross Lari at 5,000 or above, Gauge at 5,000 or above as well, then Bazaar at 4,000 or above, Shell at 2,900, and then we go a 3-degree glide path to runway 08. The missed approach is climb to 1,500, then climbing left to 3,500, outbound on radial 005 to Troy's intersection, and we hold there as directed by ATC. So everything matches, and yes, we have nav radius. The ILS still in park. It should, as we approach Atlanta, is going to set to 109.3 and final approach course 095. Okay, so here in the route we can see we have the Aussie 1 arrival with flash transition until radar vectors to position Lari for the approach ILS 8 left. Okay, that's what we have for now. And another thing we are going to set is our minimums for this approach. Cat 1, it's 1,215. Okay, I've shown you on the last video and I'm going to show you again. So I will bring back to the first officer position. Okay, and let me open like this. So we have our PFD and we have our MCP. This is the main part for the autopilot. Right on the right side we have the DSP, display select panel, and further right we have the EFIS control panel. The EFIS control panel, it controls the PFD and the navigation display. Everything that we want here we control with the EFIS control panel. Okay, so one thing that we have in the EFIS control panel is the minimums. We have the option for radio if we want an radio a radio height, or we can go baro if we want a baro altitude. So in this case it will be an ILS Cat 1, so it's going to be baro a DA of a decision altitude of 1,215. So I can come here and I can turn this knob until I have 1,215. The same thing, I can come here and I can turn the flight path vector. It is going to show you right here. You see, actually because of the wind is to the left, but on our horizon line. Okay, I can change, or not change, but I can display the altitude in meters as well. If I press meters, now we have the altitude in meters as well. Another thing that we have is if I want to preset the altimeter, which was 299er, I can just scroll this to 299er. We have here below the standard preset. When we press the button, it just jumped to 299. 0.99 inches. On this one, we can also set our modes for the navigation display. Right now is in map. We can go to plan, we can bring it back to map or VOR or approach. Okay, and we have the range. Now it's in 80. We can go 160, 320, 640, and we can go back as well down to 10. Okay, I will press 8 here. And we also have some options to show on the navigation display. Right now the weather radar is on, now it's off, now it's on again. You can see right here. We can show the station, so we can show the VORs. Okay, I just turn it on now. Let's see. You can see some blue VORs right now. I'm going to take them out. Then we can turn on the waypoints. The waypoints, usually they just appear when we have less than 40 nautical miles of range. Here it is. We have 40 nautical miles or less, it shows. So I'm going to take the waypoint off again. Another thing that we can show is the airport. Airport, it shows in any direction. Okay, and now I just noticed that we are going almost over the Washington Dulles International Airport, so we can go outside to see Washington Dulles International Airport. Maybe if we have like outside view. Okay, it's overcast. Washington, it's overcast, but that is the Washington city. Okay, and the Dulles Airport should be somewhere down there. Okay, so here we go again. Okay, but I was showing you all the options, and apart from the airports, yes, that we have right now, we can turn on data. The data is going to show on each fix the time of arrival, and if we have any altitude or speed constraint, it's going to show us again as well. The position data, it shows us our actual GPS position, which is this circle with two wings, or the IRS position, which is this asterisk, and it also shows us the information to the VOR. So right now to this VOR, Charlie Sierra November, we are 20.5 miles on the radial 045. Okay, that's what position does. If we don't want the weather radar, we can also set the terrain. Okay, these are the options that we have. So I'm going to show you weather again. But let's say that we don't have this working anymore. So you lost this panel is not working. We can do it through the FMC, and I'm going to show you right now. So I'm taking the FMC to this side. I'm going just to... I just noticed that Diego sent us a message. Diego, I will be with you very shortly. Just give me 1 minute, please. I just want to show this, which is really nice and it works in the PMDG. So you can come to menu and you can turn the FIS control panel to on. When you do this one doesn't work anymore. As you can see, I'm turning the range up and down and it doesn't do anything. But that's like a failure on this panel. So we have the option to control the FIS control panel here, and then we have all the same information. For example, as I was telling you, the minimums for this approach is 1215. We set 1215 and we go to minimums instead of 581. We are going to put it here and it's going to change here in the bottom. You see, 1215. 15. Now I want to change my navigation display to the plan mode. I just press here plan mode, it goes to plan mode. I want the approach mode, it goes to approach mode. Okay, now I want back to map mode, and I want the terrain instead of weather radar, so I set terrain here. No, I want my weather radar again, I press weather radar. I want it to show it's not working, maybe because of the position. Yes, okay, so stations, yes, weather radar, okay, stations. I want to have the airports. I press the airports, and we do have the airports around. Okay, what else? I want to set this control panel. I select it off. Now it works here again. Okay, that's the way you can do it. Okay, especially on the sim, it helps a lot. So Diego asked us a question. How is the correct way to do a hold? Duplicate the next waypoint using the hold FMC button. Okay, let's create a hold over position MOL, the VOR MOL. Okay, so how we do it? We select hold, and then the first thing that is going to show is that if you have any hold on your legs, it is going to be shown as the next hold. So I'm going to go to legs, and I'm going to show you here. At the end of the legs page, we have hold at choice. So when we open the hold, it opens with that hold in choice. Okay, if we don't have the hold in choice, it will go to open on the next hold option that we have here in the bottom. Okay, so and then it's going to ask you, where do you want to hold? And I want to hold at MOL, so I select MOL, and I press here on the left side on the bottom, hold at MOL. So usually what it does, it takes the inbound course and the standard holding to the right. Okay, also based on your altitude, if you are above 14,000 feet, it's 1.5 minutes. If you are below 14,000 feet, it's 1 minute. It's all preset here, but you can change everything. Okay, let's say that instead of 1.5 minutes each leg, I want it to be 10 miles. So I can change here in the bottom to 10 miles. And now we have a 10 miles holding instead of 1.5 minute leg. I want my turn to be to the left, so it can be slash left. So you notice it moves to the left. It also calculates a speed and a target altitude for you, but you can also change that. I don't want 250 knots. I think that is too fast for this speed. At this altitude, maybe I can maintain 240 knots. So 240 slash, and I set here, should allow me to set, yeah, 240 with flight level 380. Okay, and it even says that the best speed will be 221 knots. Okay, so I execute this, and when I go to the legs, now I see the MOL position and one hold at MOL. Okay, that's the way to do it. Okay, if I want to delete this hold, I just press delete. I come to the point where I have the hold, and I just select it. It is gone. I just need to complete the discontinuity and execute again. Okay, and now Diego asked select something else. And how do I hold if I'm not using the FMC path? For example, I go away running out of a bad formation, or I need to free the tanks over the sea. How I create a hold with no waypoint on the FMC. Okay, Diego, this holding option is on the FMC. You need a point. Okay, there are two things. If you don't have a point, or if you don't have the FMC. Let's say that you don't have the FMC, a point, and you want to start your holding at the present position, or even the ATC asks you for hold at the present position. You can come to the hold again, next hold, and you can select PPOS, which represent present position. It's going to create a hold in the present position. You just execute, and we just start our holding right now. Okay, that's the way to start a holding at your present position if you don't have any position on your FMC. Then about your question, if you don't have FMC, then you need to do it manually. You're going to use NDBs and VORs and use your conventional navigation to perform the holding. Okay, so these are the two options you have. When you come to the next page, now you have your present position holding and then a discontinuity to your next fix. So I'm going to set after my hold my next fix, which is MOL, and I'm going to execute. Note that the airplane is not going to leave this hold until I tell it to do it. It's going to be turning right, and it's going to fly 1.5 minutes, and then it's going to turn right again inbound, and it will keep this until I tell the airplane to go away. So how I tell the airplane to go away from this holding? I have to press exit hold, then the exit hold will be armed, and then I can execute the exit. So at this time the exit is armed and the airplane is going to continue towards MOL. Okay, that's the way it is. What else we have here? So I've set the approach, I've set the minimums. I also need to set my speed for the approach. So right now we have 15.7 tons and we are going to land with 8.8. So it's pretty much 7 tons that we are going to use to reach Atlanta. So I go to the initial reference, it opens in the approach reference, and I take 7 tons from this. So 2 to 3.5, it's going to be 216.5. Let's say 217 to be conservative, and our VREF for flaps 30 will be 139. I set here and we have VREF flaps 30 139 already set. Okay, so we have pretty much ready for our approach. One thing that we are going to check, we open this page and we open our checklist and we check here if we have any note for this approach. No, it's blank. Okay, what else we do is we come here and we press the recall. So as you can see, recall is showing here, so we don't have any ACAS message. Okay, so Diego, about your question about altitude and speed. Okay, here we go. We have some maximum speeds depending on which altitude, and I can tell you them right now. I just need to open my manuals here. But basically you can hold at any altitude. Of course it will be by ATC request, so you will need to comply with the ATC clearance. But when we come to hold itself, we have some speeds. So what are the ICAO maximum holding speeds? Up to flight level, and I will write this here on the chat. Holding speeds, ICAO, up to flight level 140, 230 knots. Okay, then above 140 to flight level 200 is 240 knots. Okay, and then above 200 to flight level 340, it's 265 knots. Okay, and above flight level 380, maximum speed is 0.83 Mach. Okay, I hope you got it in our chat, the same chat that you asked the question. I give you the answer for the speed. Okay, this is according to ICAO. So if you are in any hold up to flight level 140, your maximum speed is flight level, it's 230 knots. Above 140 up to flight level 200 is 240 knots. Above 200 up to flight level 340 is 265 knots, and above flight level, sorry, I said it wrong there. Above flight level 340, it's Mach 0.83. Okay, so I'm going to delete this one, which is not correct. Okay, so it's a call limitation and not the structure Boeing limitation. Yes, this is by procedure. Okay, FAA in the United States, we have a similar speeds, but they are easier. So in the United States, up to 6,000 feet is 200 knots. Above 6,000 feet up to 14,000 feet is 230 knots. And above 14,000 feet is 265 knots. So for FAA, you don't have the Mach decimal 83 above 340, it's still 265 knots. And you have another restriction at 6,000 and below, which is 200 knots. Okay, that is the main difference. Okay, so I'm going to do, because we are approaching the top of descent, I'm going to do the descent checklist. So recall is checked, notes checked, auto brake I didn't set, I'm going to select auto brake 3 now. Landing data, Landing data, we have here VREF 30 139, minimum body 1215, and approach briefing is completed. So our descent checklist is completed. Okay, so one thing to make our flight more interesting, I'm going to set any figure here. So I'm going to PMDG setup, aircraft figures, and I'm going to set, for example, an electrical figure. Okay, electrical, it says programmed. Okay, we have a programmed one. So let's say that we have well, what can we do here? Let me see all the options we have. Let's say that our left generator, it's fail, or it's going to fail right now. So I want you to pay attention to the ACAS here. We are going to have a number message. Okay, so left engine fail, and I'm going to set as active, and I'm going to execute. Okay, so we have a couple of messages. ACAS electronic generator off left. Okay, so this should be accompanied by an off light there. Okay, we have FMC message, reset MCP altitude. I cleared that, and we are going to start our descent while we do this procedure. So the first altitude is 14,000 feet. I'm going to set 14,000 feet here, and the airplane is going to start the descent. So we don't really look at it, but I'm going to show you that in our overhead panel, we have the left generator control off light, because that's the issue we have. So I'm going to open the checklist, and note that this time, because we have a checklist, is not going to open the normal checklist. It's going to open straight to the checklist, to the failure checklist. So electrical generator off left. Condition: the generator control breaker is open. Objective: to reset the generator or use the APU to supply another source of power. Attempt only one reset. Left generator control switch off, then on. Okay, so I'm going here and I press off, then on, and we go back to the checklist. Okay, electrical generator off message blanks, yes or no. In the real airplane, the airplane is going to sense that it didn't blank, so it's going to be no automatically. Okay, then this electrical generator off message stays shown. It will be automatically yes by the aircraft as well. Then the next action is APU select. If APU available, start, then on. We come here and we take it to start, then on. Then again, I'm going just to pop up this checklist. I just want to pop up where is here. Okay, so it says electrical generator off left, checklist complete. Okay, so we complete this checklist. The APU is going to take care of our left generator. Okay, so elect generator off, cancel, and we request a recall. Recall electrical generator off left. That's the only one we can cancel, and we can check the airplane status, because we have a status message. It's something that is going to impact our next flight, which is the same, electrical generator system left. Okay, that is checked, and then we tell the company. Okay, so how is our electrical system right now? We can check it here. Right now, we have the right generators supplying the right main bus, the right main bus supplying the left main bus, and the left backup generator supplying the left transfer bus. So the APU will be available very shortly. When the APU is available, APU is going to take control of the left main bus and the left transfer bus. So we are going to have two generators again in the system. Okay, just waiting APU. We are going to see here APU running message. Still waiting, still waiting. Yes, now we have APU running and the APU took over control. Okay, so we have now the APU to the left main bus. Perfect, that's the way it is. And then Diego said something else. On this scenario, without one generator, the ILS capture is possible, or due to the issues, the ILS capture and autoland will not be available. In this case, it will be available because we have the APU generator taking care of the left side of the aircraft. So it's like the same generator, but instead of having from the left engine, now we have it from the APU. So there is no issue. We don't have any kind of note for this approach, and we can do the same approach. Okay. Okay, then Diego asked us if the APU is not available if you continue with one generator missing, and that's the good thing about the 777. Let's say that our APU is not working. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to shut down the APU, let's say. And actually, no, I'm not going to shut down. I'm going to fail the APU as well. So, return, I'm going... Let's see if we have the APU itself. Wheels and brakes, warning system, hydraulics. We cannot fail the APU here. APU, okay, programmed. Let's say that we had an APU overheat, and I'm going to activate the APU overheat right now. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, to take the Diego question. Meanwhile, Valfridio Souza says that he's arrived now and saying good night to you. It's nice to see you here again. So Diego is asking another question. This generator failure. The backup generators can supply. You need to turn the APU on. Yes, that's the best way to shut down them, to make them fail. So APU overheat, why we don't... I think it takes some time. Let me see the status here. Yeah, the AGT is increasing. Of course, in a real flight we were not going to see this because we are not expecting, but as you can see, the AGT is increasing. So at some point we are going to have an overheat of the APU. Okay, I'm going to open this like so you can see AGT is increasing, the oil temperature is increasing. So we are going to have an APU overheat very soon. And then we see how the system works. We have the APU exhaust gas temperature with more than 150 degrees Celsius right now. The oil temperature is reaching 150 degrees Celsius. So yeah, the APU would be shut down very soon. Okay, we have a master caution, APU limit. APU limit, no normal checklist, APU limit, and APU limit exceedance occur, APU selector off, APU selector off. Okay. APU limit checklist completed. Okay, so now we don't have the APU. How is our electrical system? Now we have just the right generator supplying power to the right main bus, and the right main bus also supplying power to the left main bus, and the left main bus is supplying power to the left transfer bus. But in this case, the right main bus is not supplying power to the right transfer bus because we have one backup generator. So each time we have a failure, the last one was the left backup generator that took over. This time is the right one, and it's going to be left and right every time you need them. So now the right backup generator, it's one generator that is working, and we should continue the flight as it is. We still don't have any kind of node, and we still have two independent generators. The right from the engine and the right standby. Okay, so if any of those fail now, then yes, then we need to land at the nearest suitable airport, and that's the only thing that happens. We will be going to the nearest suitable airport, and that's it. Not anything else. We were still going to do an ILS approach if we had to, or an air nav approach, it doesn't matter. Okay, so that's the way it is. As we are setting failures, let's see what else we can do that is not going to run our sim, but it will be nice to show you. Maybe we can have another question from Diego. On this situation with no APU and with the backup generator working, the ILS and autoland will work? Yes, they will work. Because we still have two generators, there is no issue, and even with one generator they will work, but there will be no redundancy capability. So most probably with one generator there will be no auto land, but the ILS will still be available. So let's continue with electrical failures. So we go to failures, we go to electrical, and we are going to select now the right backup generator fail. We are going to make it as active. Okay, so we have another message here. Elect backup generator right. Elect backup generator right, no normal checklist. It says, condition, the backup generator is failed. Attempt only one reset. Right backup generator switch off, then on. So we come here, right backup generator off, then on. And it sensed that we did it. Electrical backup generator right checklist is completed. Okay, so we clear this checklist, we make a recall. We have electrical backup generator right, and we have electrical generator off left. Okay, we clear them, we know about them, the status. We have both of them on status as well. Okay, we still don't have anything and we still can do the approach. How is our electrical system right now? We still have the right engine driven generator and the left backup generator supplying power to this aircraft. Okay, let's make it even worse. Let's now take off the left backup generator. So yes, and we execute. Now we even lost the autopilot. Okay, so now I have to fly. We have fly director. Okay, idle and VNAV speed. And I engage the autopilot again, so it's going to bring it back to the correct guidance. Okay, it was off because it was on the right side, and now we just have one generator working, just the left side is working. Okay, now we have a couple of things, and I'm going to show you that we have a couple of messages. So we go hydraulic pressure primary right, checklist. Okay, hydraulic pressure primary right, right engine primary pump switch, we take it off, off. Okay, what else we have here? Note, right thrust reverser may be inoperative and checklist complete. We go to the next, no normal. Hit pitot right. Condition, the right pitot probe heat is failed. The PFD air data is not affected by a single pitot heat failure. Ensure that the left air data ATT source switch stays off. Okay, we don't touch it. AFIS control panel right, so AFIS control panel right is not working. We need to use the backup we just did on this flight to show you. Electrical backup system. Condition, the backup power system is failed. Attempt only one reset. Left backup generator switch off, then on. Okay, this is off, then on. We come back here, we did this. The second one is just one attempt per flight, so we already did on the right one, we are not going to do it again. So we override this item, and the checklist electrical backup system is complete. The last no normal, it's fuel pump right aft. Condition, the pump pressure is low. Right aft fuel pump switch off. So right aft fuel pump switch to off. And then we have fuel pump right aft checklist complete. Okay, so what I want to show you from this, that we have a couple of messages. Okay, I'm going to cancel and recall all of them. Electrical backup system, bottle set disagree, hydraulic pressure primary right, fuel pump right aft, control panel right, cargo heat bulk, control panel right, cargo heat bulk, no land 3. So we cannot do a land 3. We still have land 2 capability. Okay, so we cannot do a cat 3 bravo, but we can do a cat 3 alpha. Heat pitot right and window heat electrical generator off left. Okay, that's everything that we have as issue for this approach. So we finally, after all those problems, we lost the left generator, the left engine generator, we lost the APU, and we lost both backup generators, and that's the only time that we got a no land 3 by this aircraft. Okay, so when we have no land 3, that means we still can do an automatic land, but we are limited to cat 3 alpha. That means we need to see at least one light during the approach before the touchdown, and that will give us 3 lights, and that will give us the opportunity to maintain the runway center line in case the autopilot goes off after landing. Okay, that's the only thing. So as you can see, we need a lot of figures to have some impact on the flight. Okay, what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to try to reset some figures because I don't want it to be that bad for this approach. Okay, we have 4 active backup generators, so I'm bringing back the backup generator. Okay, both of them, or even better, I'm bringing, yeah, both backup generator. Okay, and we are going to have just the left generator fail and the APU overheat for this approach. Okay, that's the way it is. So we have about a set disagree. We bring it back to standard. Okay, hydraulic pressure primary right, so most probably now it's not a fault anymore. Yes, and even the fuel is not an issue anymore because we have the backup working. So on recall we just have electrical generator off left. Okay, so 14,000 and the altimeter is 2999 set on both sides, and we request approach checklist altimeters 2999 set and cross check, and note that we now have some notes for this approach. Okay, the notes are heat pitot right, FS control panel right, and hydraulic pressure right. We were going to read all these notes again if we still had these issues, but we don't have them because we had an engineer on board and he applied the maintenance procedures, and we have our backup generator back to normal. Okay. So that's the way it is. Let's see how is our approach going. Okay, I will keep like this for the approach. Yes, so we can pop up this. Let's fly direct to a fix. I'm going to go direct to the last fix on the arrival just to save us some time. So Sneeve is there, and I'm going to execute. Okay, so idle, VNAV speed, and we are 1,400 feet above the path. And then from Sneeve we go to Lari. Let's see how it is our plan right now. So that's our approach right now. The only thing I'm going to do is to reduce this speed, so we'll be with 180 knots to intercept the ILS. So we have a better turn to the ILS. We can even do like this, is nav -5, that's okay, and we can go to jar, and jar as well on 180 knots. Okay, that is even better. This is a shortcut on our arrival. Okay, I will bring back it to map mode. We are almost on the path. That's all set. Okay, so as you can see now on the nav radius page, we have the ILS frequency 109.3 course 095. This is automatically catched by the FMC because we select the ILS runway 08 left. Okay, so we have the frequency and the course here. We also have the frequency and the course here, and the frequency should change to the ILS identifier, which is, I'm taking the shot here, India Hotel Foxtrot Whiskey, most probably. Okay, so let's see how it goes if the Prepare 3D can take this. Okay, I will take this to 80. $120. Okay, this is a very shallow descent. I will try to give us more shortcuts on this arrival. So I can set direct to Bazaar. And then Bazaar at 180 knots. Maybe we even need 170 to perform this turn. Yeah, that's kind of okay. So we are 200 above. All good, all set. We are going down. Now to 4,000 feet then. As we go down, I'm going to increase the speed. It was a long flight. 300 knots with 800 feet per minute. And here we go. Keep going down. Let's see how is the airplane outside. That's the tail camera. Flyby camera right now. Going towards Atlanta. Here we go. Back to our cockpit. Okay. We are going down towards Atlanta, crossing flight level 220 very shortly. I'm going to be slightly below on the profile, so the profile will be above us because I'm faster than the speed we have on the FMC, on the descent. Okay, so we have faster speed, so you want to be a little below on the profile so we have time to compensate for this speed as we need to arrest our descent to reduce. We keep going down. Direct to Bazaar, let's update these. That is fine. 600 feet per minute now. That should be in VNAV, that should be in legs page, and that's it. That's the way it is. I hope you enjoyed these failures that we proposed for this flight. It was just to show you how to read the checklist and a couple of electrical failures, and then the rest was requested pretty much by Diego. He didn't want the failure, but he wanted to know how the airplane behaves after a couple of failures, so better to show than just to explain. Right now we have 3 guys watching for this. I really hope you are liking it. It's good to see you there. It seems that you are here for a long time now. And if you can give me a feedback how the live stream is going, because sometimes I receive message that the connection is not that good and that the video is not going that smooth. Right now I have an excellent connection, it says, so it should be really good right now. Always the heading bug on the actual heading. Okay, let's set the lights for this approach. When I say the lights, I mean the cockpit lights. Oops. So we take the store off. We can have some dome lights. That was too much. Something like, oops. Okay, it just stays in the middle or full. Okay, I learned something else. Okay, so that's fine. we live in the middle. That's good enough for our approach. Okay, let's review all the systems very shortly. So I'm going to set the right side here so we can see the why this is not working. Recall, it was supposed to be working. Oh, because this is a navigation display. Okay, MFD, right? Okay, so now we have, okay guys, what happened is we have here one inboard display selector. So this inboard display means this one, the one that we have the navigation display right now. We can select the multifunction display. We can select just the ACAS as I just did. So the multifunction display, we can make it hard selected to the navigation display, or we can change it to the primary flight display. Okay, so what I did is by mistake it was in the navigation display, so the display select panel on the right side, it doesn't work because I made a hard selection. I left this slaved in the navigation display. So if I want to use the right inboard display control panel, I need to leave the inboard display to multifunction display, and then it works. And then I can select here anything like engines, they are okay. Status, we just have the electrical generator system left, and the APU, but the APU is down, so it's not showing. We turn it off. So that's how is our electrical system right now. Right generator control, supplying right main and left main, and the right backup generator supplying the right transfer. Okay, hydraulics, they are working fine. We have all the primary pumps working. All the main pumps, they are in auto and not working right now. Fuel, we have 5.8 tons on each main tank, and crossfeed is closed. Total of 11.6 tons. Air conditioning. So air conditioning, we have some information here, which is the duct pressure for each side, the actual cabin altitude, the actual cabin rate, and the landing altitude, the actual pressure difference, and the position for both outflow valves. As well, we have here all the temperature indication and the air flowing from our engines to our left and right pack and our left and right trim air. We also have all doors armed. Landing gear, the doors, they are all closed. We can see that all tires, they have pressure, and this 0 indicates the temperature of the brake, so the brake is cool. The flight control is showing us normal mode and the position for each one of the flight controls, including the rudder trim and the stabilizer trim. The camera, yes, it works. So that's the camera. Okay, turning off. The next checklist is the landing checklist. The COM, it doesn't work, PMDG, and the navigation display is what we want to. Okay, so that's it, everything working. Thank you so much, Mateus. Nice that you like it. And Caio is saying that it's 5x5, so it seems that the broadcast is running smoothly. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for being here with me today as we fly this 777 into Atlanta. Okay. I'm going to keep high speed until really close to the runway because I'm tired. I already had a 15 hours real flight today. Right now I'm in Seattle. It is the first time that I'm in Seattle. It's the first time that I could see the Boeing field in Seattle, full of airplanes on the ground. And it was a really nice approach. I was not expecting to see a huge mountain that we have southeast of Seattle. That was really nice. We could clearly see the mountain during the approach. It was nice. So, because I'm a bit tired, I'm going to keep this speed at least up down to 4,000 feet. When we reach 4,000 feet, then we start reducing and configuring the airplane for landing. We still have 130 miles to go to the intermediate fix bazaar. Not much that we can do now. Just waiting until we reach 10,000 feet, turn the lights on, turn the seatbelt on. I don't really know as well why the approach mode is armed. It should not be, so I just disarm it. Let's go, let's keep going down. I will take this time to check the latest weather. So I want to know Kilo Alpha Tango Lima Atlanta. We still have altimeter 29er, 9 degrees, overcast at 300 feet, 2,000 meters visibility, and the wind 050 at 7. Okay, that's not bad. Still good for Cat 1 approach. I really didn't understand why the airplane started the descent so early. Maybe it was a constraint on the arrival, but even though with that constraint should not be that early. And one thing that I'm going to do today, I'm going to fly it manually on the final and with the auto throttles off. Usually the auto throttles, they are on even for landing, but because it's a PMDG failure, it's reducing the thrust levers very fast during the flare. I'm going to do it manually. Okay, so I think we are going to have a better landing to it manually than leaving with the auto throttle until the end. Okay, crossing out 13,000, almost at 10,000 feet. I'm going to turn the lights on. That is all set. So that's our descent. And one thing, just to make it funny, I'm going to arm the speed brake now, and I'm not going to use it. Even though I know it's going to be easy, I'm low on the profile, I'm really fast, 320 knots. So it's just time for me to plan ahead this deceleration towards the final. Okay, some analysis of this current broadcast. Right now we have 2 people watching. We had a total of 53 people that access this live broadcast, and all of you stayed around 14 minutes and 40 seconds watching this video, which is really nice. If you take into account that this is very specific, this is English broadcast and on the 777 in the United States in the middle of the afternoon in the United States, so it's a good one. We had a couple of messages. I'm going to review some of them. Um, okay. Um, Pretty much the guys helped me help me to set up this broadcast. Um, Nice catch from Mateus that ATC audio was not working, and now I have to work on the vPilot to make my audio work on VATSIM. So I don't really know how to do it. I will search for some answers in the forums. Let's see what it says. And then Iago asked about some charts. So I give you this tip. You just type the ICAO airport you want, the ICAO code for the airport you want. So let's say you want Atlanta Kilo Alpha Tango Lima space charts on Google, and it should work. Then we had a couple of questions from Diego. He asked about the hold, so we set up a hold. We set up a hold at the present position as well, and we execute one hold. We talk about the speeds, holding speeds by ICAO. I also told you about the FAA speeds. Then we talked about electrical failures and how the automatic system works. Okay, that's it. Crossing 10,000 now. I'm going to prepare for this approach. "86 miles to Bazaar," which is still 15 minutes. That's a long way to go. Is there any way to increase the simulation rate here? I think so. Yes, simulation 8. Let's go to 4 times right. Just as we go down, I'm not changing anything. Okay. So just going down and down. We got the cabin ready, so we are ready to land. Okay guys, it seems that we have a reconnection. Not really. Okay, it says now that the connection is really nice. So guys, we are still here. We are still going down towards Atlanta. ILS runway 8 left. Okay, so this is going to be our approach. Okay, here we go. Thank you, Mateus, for saying that the stream is back. This internet, this hotel internet, it's a pain in the ass sometimes. Okay, so we are going to reach 4,000 and I'm going to reduce the speed now to 250 knots. Flap start is 139, so the flap up the speed will be 219. So we have now the ILS India Hotel Foxtrot Whiskey 095 identified. That's the correct one. So it's all set. We just need the correct sensing to arm the approach. So the next altitude is 2,900. And as the speed reduces, we are going to extend our flaps. We'll even leave the heading sail armed. So flaps 1, flaps 5, bringing the speed back to 179. As the airplane starts to turn, thrust, flight level change speed. We are a little high, so gear down, flaps 15, speed to flaps 15 speed. Now we have the correct sensing, we arm the approach. Can even go down to the minimums now. Vertical speed reducing already, so we have speed, vertical speed, and bring it to flaps 20 to open the checklist. We just need the flaps to go. That one is our runway. So now flaps 25, flaps 30, We reduce the speed to VREF plus 5, so 144. That's our speed. And we just need the landing checklist. Localizer capture and landing checklist is complete. So we don't need this one anymore. We don't need this one. Just come back on this one. Okay. That's the right one for our approach. I have glide slope capture very shortly. Missed approach 3500. Glide slope capture, rollout and flare arm, land 3. So I'm going to play with the speed. Auto throttle going off. Both of them. Yes, I know it. That's me. I want it like this, so it will be manual flight. Flight director. Not very stable, but yeah, we still can do it.
500. 200. 100. 50. 30. 20. 10.
We have the reverses. Speed brake was up. $60 knots. Back to idle. That's it. Can have the camera, so I'm going to pop up the camera here. Auto brake off. And I'm going to take the first to the left here. That is a high speed to the left. Okay, that's it. Okay, I'm just turning to the parallel, so we do the after landing procedures. Is there any position we can park around here maybe? Don't really know. Maybe going south here. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like we have some hangars. So I'm going south here. going to go straight ahead here. Just wait the airplane to stop. Yes, and we start our flow. We retract the flaps, we retract the speed brake, and the first offset start or pilot monitoring start, turning the APU on, strobo lights off, landing lights and runway turn off, they go off. And we set the auto brake to off. We make sure we don't have any weather radar on. Transponder to transponder. TCAS off. Cancel. That's it. Oh, my mistake. I turned the APU on. It should not be because we had an APU failure. So the APU is going to be off. So how we set the electrical power for this aircraft right now? So what we do is we stop at the position we want to. We set the parking brake. We shut down the right engine. Okay. Then when we have the right engine down, we request the ground personnel to bring us the ground power. So they are bringing us the ground power. And once we have the ground power, yes, the ground power is available. We have the primary and the secondary one. So now everything is at its correct position. We can shut down the left engine. Okay, after engine shut down, we turn the seatbelts off. We turn off the hydraulic pumps. We turn off the fuel pumps. We turn off the beacon light. We turn off the flight directors. We turn off traffic. Yes, it is off. Oops. And we set transponder to 2000. And we set it to standby. And then we perform the shutdown checklist. It should be. So we go to normal menu, shutdown checklist. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, parking brake. Parking brake is set. Shutdown checklist completed. Then the last one is the secure. So to perform the secure, oops, so we come back here. We turn the ADIRU off. We turn the emergency exit lights to off. Okay, it is off now. Flags should be off because we don't have anything. APU is off. Okay, that is set. Logo lights to off. And that's pretty much. So secure checklist packs off. Secure checklist is complete. That's it. What else we have? We have a couple of questions. Fonseca, when the airplane is on autopilot, the heading is not corrected automatically. I see all pilots always correct the heading course. It's really needed. Yes. To two reasons why it's not automatically updated. First thing is that the heading bug itself, it's not automatically, so you have to turn it. It's not like the speed that it goes on and off. When you are in VNAV speed, the display is blank, so the heading will be always there and you have to turn it accordingly. So why we keep on the current heading? Because if we have any problem with the lateral navigation and the airplane reverts to basic mode, it's going to revert to a basic mode heading cell on the current heading. So the airplane is not going to turn if it reverts to heading mode. Or if by any mistake you press heading select, it's going to give you the actual heading. The airplane is not going to turn. The only good thing about the pilot keeping the heading update is that the heading just change because of certain things. You can have even an engine failure, which is not probably the case, because initially the autopilot will compensate for everything. But most probably you're having wind changes. And then with these wind changes, you have a better situational awareness of what is going on. If your wind is increasing or it's changing direction, so that's something for you to keep track on it, you know. So those are the two good things about keeping the heading uh, every time matching the current heading. Okay, guys, thank you so much to everybody that watched this video. It was a pleasure to be with you. It's almost 3 hours. I couldn't make it online on VATSIM the way I wanted to because my microphone was not working. But anyway, this was good enough from my side. So thank you everybody again, and I hope next time, guys. Have a great evening. Bye bye.